How's it going, everyone? I hope you all are doing great. I am Dork Radu and I am back with another daily analysis, and as usual I will start off with the Forex analysis. And to be more exact, we are going to start off with GBP/AUD, where we had this beautiful sell limit opportunity that triggered. It smashed TP1 on both entries, and now it looks like it is playing around at entry price. We discussed about this setup yesterday as well. The reason we took it is very simple. We had a very clear liquidity sweep here, followed by a very impulsive break towards the downside. A huge fair value gap has been left behind. And then we also had our corrective pullback. So because of that, we decided to take this setup on GBP/AUD. Okay. Next up, we have NZD CAD, where we have this beautiful buy limit setup running in some nice profits. It is approaching TP2 as we speak. The reason we took it, again, we had a nice liquidity sweep here, followed by a very impulsive break. I really liked this break of structure. It seemed very healthy, and because of that, I decided to take this setup here, okay, in our area of interest. We also had a pretty corrective pullback, and as we can see, it was a very beautiful sniper entry, okay, literally next to no drawdown and went straight into profits. And as we speak, it is currently approaching take profit number 2. All right, so a really decent setup. Next up, Euro/AUD triggered on both entries. Okay, this one is a sell limit opportunity. We had a liquidity sweep here, followed by an impulsive break towards the downside. Again, a lot of imbalance has been left behind, as we can see, and we also had this fair value gap lining up perfectly with our area of interest. Okay, after that we saw a pretty corrective pullback, and then we pulled the trigger. And as we can see, both entries are currently running. Entry number 2 is running in profits, and the first one is in some small drawdown. Okay, so we shall see how this setup will play out. All right. Next up, we have Eurgjbp. Again, triggered for another sell limit opportunity. We had a lot of setups this week. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of setups, a lot of action going on this week. On Eurgjbp, once again, a sell limit opportunity. We saw a very clear shift in momentum. We also had a liquidity sweep here, followed by a very impulsive break towards the downside. We broke several lows. We broke this low, as well as this low, which is great for our confluences. Then we also saw this unmitigated order block that was lining up perfectly with our fire zone. Then both entries triggered. The first entry had a pretty nice sniper reaction, but now we can see that it went back around the entry price. Okay, so we shall wait and see how this setup will play out. Okay, next up we have GBP/USD. Okay, so on GBP/USD we have a buy limit opportunity. All right, looking pretty textbook. We have a liquidity sweep here, followed by a very impulsive break towards the upside. We can see this huge bullish momentum here that left this huge imbalance behind. It also left this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with our discounted area. And if we enable the trader indicator, we can see that we have some great confluence with it, because the daily and the 4-hour on the graph are both bullish. So that is a really solid confluence for us to take the setup. And so far we also had a pretty corrective pullback, which is what we want. Okay. Next up, USD/CHF with a nice sell limit opportunity, looking pretty good. Pretty textbook liquidity sweep here by the wicks, followed by a super aggressive break of structure towards the downside. Look at this huge bearish candle with this huge momentum. It also left this unmitigated order block behind. That lines up perfectly with our premium area. And so far, we also have a pretty corrective pullback. And if we enable the trader indicator, on this one, we don't really have any confluence with it. But again, every now and then we can take setups based only on price action. So that is totally okay. USD CAD is our next pair. And we also have a sell limit opportunity on this one. Okay, we can see that we had a liquidity sweep here above this high, followed by a very aggressive break towards the downside. Okay, and we also left this unmitigated order block behind that is lining up perfectly with our area of interest. Okay, price climbed up pretty correctively, I would say. Of course, we do have a lot of bullish candles in a row, but they're not really big, and that tells me that the momentum ain't really that great. And we also started to slow down here, which is a really solid confluence for us. Okay, and we also have some nice confluences with the trader indicator. We can see that the 4-hour is bearish on the graph, and we also have these two trade order blocks that are lining up perfectly with our area of interest. Okay, so that is great as well. Next up, we have Eurogp with a buy limit opportunity, looking pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, overall bullish. We had a liquidity sweep here, followed by a break of structure to the upside, a aggressive one, of course. We also had this fair value gap. Of course, it got filled, but still, we might see price dropping and tap us in. Okay, so far we also have a corrective pullback. And if we enable the trader indicator, we have the 4-hour bullish on the graph, which is a pretty good confluence for us to consider taking this setup. All right. Next up, Euro NZD. Okay, so on Euro NZD, we have a sell limit opportunity. Again, we can see we had a pretty nice shift in momentum here. Price was overall bullish for the past few weeks, but here we had a liquidity sweep followed by a very impulsive break towards the downside. Again, we broke several lows, all right, with this impulsive bearish momentum. Okay, we also left some nice imbalance behind. We have this fair value gap lining up perfectly with our area of interest, and so far we also have a corrective pullback. All right, so pretty much all of the rules are met. And if we enable the trader indicator, the 4-hour is bearish, which is great. And we also have this trade order block lining up perfectly with our area of interest. Okay, oh, sorry. All right, so yeah, this setup is looking really solid. Next up, we have GBP JPY. All right, so on this one, we have a buy limit opportunity. Okay, looking overall pretty bullish. We had a liquidity sweep here, followed by an impulsive break towards the upside. Again, huge imbalance has been left behind. We have this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with our fire zone. And so far, we do have a corrective pullback, so that is great. And with the trader indicator enabled, we can see that we have some great added confluences, okay? Daily and 4-hour on the graph are both bullish, and we also have this trade order block lining up perfectly with our area of interest. All right, so once again, a really, really good looking setup on GBP JPY. Euro USD, all right, once again, another buy limit opportunity. As we can see here, we had a lot of bullish momentum for the past few days. Okay, we also had a liquidity sweep here, and immediately after that we broke structure. Okay, we broke several highs. We also broke this swing high here, which is really important. And so far we also have a pretty corrective pullback. We can see that we have this fair value gap lining up perfectly with our area of interest. And if we enable the trader indicator, check this out. 4-hour on the graph is looking bullish, and we also have we have 3 trade order blocks lining up with our discounted area, which is a great confluence for us. Okay, that is great. So yeah, that's why this is a valid setup to consider. Next up, EuroCAD with another buy limit opportunity. So this one has a small range, but I really liked the bullishness of this move. Okay, that's why I took it, and it also broke this swing high here. Okay, so this one candle broke this swing high and caused this massive up push. All right, so now if we do see a corrective pullback, I am definitely taking this setup. Okay, we also have this unmitigated order block that lines up perfectly with our area of interest, and if we enable the trader indicator, we are bullish on the 4-hour on the graph, which is a pretty decent confluence. Okay, and next up, for our last Forex pair that we'll analyze today, AUD NZD. Okay, so on AUD NZD, again, we had a pretty bullish market structure for the past few weeks, but recently, start of November, we started to see a shift in momentum. Okay, we started to see a shift in momentum, and here once again we had a liquidity sweep followed by an impulsive break towards the downside, which broke several lows, broke this low as well as this one, as well as this one. Okay, and we also left imbalance behind. We have this unmitigated order block lining up perfectly with our area of interest. Okay, and if we have a corrective pullback, this will be a really solid setup to take. Okay, and if we enable the trader indicator, is looking really good as well. The trader indicator is giving us some great confidence as well. We have the 4-hour on the graph bearish, and we also have this trader order block lining up perfectly with our area of interest. Okay, so we're looking really, really good. And yeah, that being said, this pretty much ends today's Forex analysis. As always, if there's any questions, make sure to reach out on the Discord. Take care. Alright, so now I will go over today's metals analysis, starting off with gold. So to be fair, gold since yesterday didn't really do much. Okay, so we said yesterday that we clearly rejected pretty aggressively from this daily supply level. Okay, and we can see that prices started to trend lower. But the thing is, I would be tempted to look for a sell opportunity, right? But I don't see a clear range. Okay, this is not a healthy looking range for me. Neither is this one here, okay? Because you could consider, yes, this could be a bearish range, but it doesn't really look healthy for me, okay? I want to see that fair value gap. I want to see that unmitigated order block, and I don't see it here, okay? And neither do I see it here. So because of that, even though I am bearish, I would still leave the price to develop some more, because right now I'm telling you, I don't see anything clear on gold. Okay, it is that simple, right? So because of that, we are going to save the chart and move on to our next metal, which is silver. And on silver, we do have a sell limit opportunity. Okay, we discussed this one yesterday as well. We have a pretty good looking sell limit opportunity. We have a liquidity sweep here, followed by an impulsive break to the downside. Okay, we also left imbalance behind. We also have this fair value gap lining up with our area of interest, pretty much exactly what we want, all right? And now, of course, we want to wait for that corrective pullback. And if we enable the trader indicator, it is looking really great because the daily and the 4-hour on the graph are both red, okay, so bearish. And we also have this trader order block lining up perfectly with our area of interest, with our premium area, all right? And yeah, this is why this setup is definitely a valid one to take. And on that note, this pretty much will end our today's this one will pretty much end today's metals analysis. As always, if there's any questions, make sure to reach out on the Discord. Now I will go over today's indices analysis, starting off with US30, where I found a pretty nice sell limit opportunity. Okay, so we were super bullish for the past days, I would say, and we left this huge imbalance behind here. And I said that, okay, although we are bullish, I do think that this imbalance will eventually get filled. And right here, I saw a pretty nice shift in momentum. Okay, we have a liquidity sweep above this high, followed by an impulsive break to the downside. Okay, so this looks like a pretty nice shift in momentum. Okay, we also have this unmitigated order block lining up with our premium area. And now we want to wait for that corrective pullback. And so far we do have it. We do have a pretty corrective pullback. And lastly, if we enable the trader indicator, we can see that on the daily, we are bearish, which is good to know. Okay, it's good to know that we look for a setup that lines up with the higher time frame, which is the daily in our case. Okay, so yeah, this is why this setup is a valid one to take. Next up, we have SPX. On SPX, I didn't find anything. Pretty much same story as yesterday. Price, in my opinion, seems to be too overextended to the upside, and I wouldn't look to buy here, okay, because there's this huge imbalance here that could get filled, and that's literally the reason why I'm staying on the sidelines on SPX. And to be fair, I think it's the same story on NAS100 as well. Yeah, only on US30 we have a setup when it comes to our indices, because again on NAS100 it is literally almost the same exact story as on SPX. Okay, price is way too overextended, as we can see, and I wouldn't be keen to look for any buy limits here. Okay, because although this might look like a pretty good range, it has fair value gaps in the discounted area. We have this huge imbalance below it. Okay, so because of that, we will stay on the sidelines on NAS100 as well. And yeah, this will pretty much end our indices analysis for today. As always, if there's any questions, make sure to reach out on Discord. And lastly, I will go over today's crypto analysis, starting off with Bitcoin, where I found a valid buy limit opportunity. Okay, so we can see that we formed this nice looking bullish range. Okay, we had a very aggressive break of structure out of this choppy price section, and we left some imbalance behind as well. Right here, we have this nice fair value gap lining up perfectly with our discounted area. Okay, and we want to wait for that corrective pullback now. That's what we want to wait for. And if we enable the trader indicator, it is looking very good. Okay, so daily, 4 hour, all the time frames are all green. And we also have the trader order block lining up perfectly with our discounted area. Okay, so that's why this is a valid setup to take. Next up, we have Ethereum, and on Ethereum, I couldn't see anything. Okay, on Ethereum, I couldn't see any clear structure. Again, we had a pretty choppy price action here. Then we broke above, and then we started again for a choppy price action. But now it looks like it wants to break higher. But again, I don't see a clear range, a healthy looking range that we could possibly trade. So that's why I didn't mark up anything. Same for Dogecoin, and to be fair, I think for XRP and Solana as well. Yeah, same story here as well. Y'all can see that although the price is bullish, there's no clear range that we could currently look to trade. Okay, so that's why we didn't force anything on Dogecoin. XRP, again, pretty much the same story. Yes, we are overall very bullish, but I don't see a good looking range for us to trade right now. And lastly, Solana, pretty much the same exact story as XRP, Doge, and Ethereum. Once again, looking bullish. We definitely broke this level, and we even retested it, and now we are heading higher. Okay, so definitely I would be keen to look for some buy opportunities, for some buy limit opportunities on Solana. But currently, once again, I don't see a clear looking range, a healthy looking range that we could trade. So yeah, on that note, we'll end this crypto analysis as well as today's analysis. As always, if there's any questions, make sure to reach out on the Discord. And as always, I will see y'all on the dork side. Take care.